What is good, you guys? Welcome back to the channel Serenity Soul Invictus. Thanks for watching. You guys, today we're talking about something that is going on at the moment, planetarily speaking. We have Jupiter, the planet Jupiter, moving into the constellation of Scorpio. I thought today it would be a good idea for me to cover this topic when Jupiter is in Scorpio, what that means. And so at any point in this video, do hit like, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification and all of that so that you're up to speed when I'm back with another great topic. So Jupiter Scorpio characteristics usually have deep, intense, like real psychic discernment. Okay, some people, I don't know if you've heard people say before that they've been blessed with the gift of discernment. I've heard many people, especially in my family, say this, but they definitely, these Jupiter Scorpio people have deep psychic discernment, and their experiences come to a head or a climax definitely when they are involved in some intense situations. And the most intense situations is when these people shine the most. Okay, it's like they can handle a lot of pressure, a lot of intensity. All right, and Jupiter definitely being that super large planet that is responsible for, of course, abundance of just about everything, but mainly everything good. Okay, the sense of rightness expands when you are acting upon your intuition the most. And this is something that Jupiter and Scorpio people share. Tupac, Sade are Jupiter and Scorpio people, and as you can tell, as you know, these people are very deep, very intense, very soulful, very intuitive, very connected to their inner selves. Okay, so what definitely are the goals of these people, Jupiter and Scorpio people? The soulful goals of a Jupiter and Scorpio person is to actually be all encompassed in something, actually to have a purpose at the end of doing something. Okay, you it's like you are not feeling right if you are doing something that does not lead to some kind of self-transformation, some kind of metamorphosis, some kind of radiant, radical change. Okay, this is something I definitely can relate to, I definitely resonate with, because Scorpio, being a fixed sign, is all about death and rebirth, all about that phoenix rising from the ashes kind of energy. So I definitely understand this is what it is all about. So when you take into consideration all of your day-to-day struggles, you're dealing with problems that require you to change. Sometimes, of course, you have to change your mind first in order for anything else to change. And so Scorpios in Jupiter, Jupiter and Scorpio definitely is about that personal transformation. So a happy person who has their Jupiter lined up in Scorpio has some kind of needs and outlet. They're going to only be happy if they have an outlet then to express that intense inner energy, if you get what I'm saying. All right, so Jupiter definitely is fixed in our solar system. It's a fixed planet, as well as Scorpio being a fixed sign, which makes it a long-term focus. So more than likely, if you know persons whose natal chart has Jupiter lying in Scorpio, these are people who has intense psychic ability. Let's just say their intuition is on fleek. Okay, they can feel out a person like that. Like it's like they're psychic, with sometimes not even realizing it. This is the way I've been for a long time. And sometimes I used to tell myself that I'm overanalyzing people or situations too much. I'm overanalyzing it and I'm sending myself false messages. But then push comes to shove, it turns out that it was the truth because I felt it, I knew it, I could see the signs, I can add up. Like, it's not like you have, it's, of course it has a lot to do with common sense, but then some people are blessed with innate sense of discernment, sense of, you know, intuition, picking up on the energy of others. Because if you say one thing and you do the exact opposite the next minute, clearly there's inconsistency, it's going contrary, it's not, you know, so you have to be able to see with that inner eye, and this is what Jupiter and Scorpio persons are very good at. Okay, so we tend to feel our gut feelings, and growing up my mom always taught me this, like, you always have to trust your gut. And so if I was not a Scorpio, I would still cling to that advice, because every time you go against your gut, something goes terribly wrong. And so Jupiter and Scorpio people definitely are more prone to that feeling, that gut feeling, and usually it turns out to be true, like I said. So we feel out people who are jealous very well, people who are competing with us for attention or the limelight or whatever, playing some kind of trick, and you know, their ego is like jumping in the way, trying to take some power away from you. We sense those things very easily, okay? And this is a skill that actually keeps us protected from the wrong people, and it actually keeps us in actually better situations, because we steer away from certain people and we actually move or gravitate toward people we feel are trustworthy. So we definitely kind of like being alone a little more so than others, but at the same time, if we can find a team that is vibing the same as us, we're gonna be around those people more. And so moving on to a Jupiter and Scorpio person's personality, we tend to avoid large groups of people, crowds, and a bunch of friends and stuff. You'll usually find a Jupiter and Scorpio person. Naturally, Scorpios are like that naturally, but Jupiter and Scorpio person is definitely somebody who keeps a watchful eye on others' behaviors. And so this causes us sometimes to go into like a little introversion. We kind of, you know, step away from the whole scene, the hype and all of that, to kind of observe what's going on a little bit better. But sometimes we dive into the whole thing like a mosh pit, and it leads to a lot of confusion sometimes. And then sometimes it causes us to lose track of our feelings. It causes us to become so overwhelmed with energies of other people that we have ourselves a little cray-cray moment. Like, it causes us to go off balance, like lose ourselves and overreact and trip out a little bit. So it's important, that's why we protect ourselves from so many different vibrations all at once. And so persons with Jupiter lying in their Scorpio constellation definitely are, I think, more resilient people. We are tough people. We are made like tough, okay? So when we come across this chaos or confusion, we handle it well, okay? Because we live for this shit, basically. It's like we are somewhat of, I guess, alchemist, but for the intense stuff. This channel definitely is based on the principle of mentalism, and so this is so me. I'm talking about, any of you out there can relate. Do leave your comments below. Do let me know how this connects with you. It's very important for us to actually be true to ourselves, to understand ourselves, and so this is why I actually take the time out to study astrology and how it relates to us all. Back to the topic. So Jupiter and Scorpio people, definitely we have to kind of understand why we feel what we feel as human beings. We have to try to understand why we are compelled to do certain things, why some things come so natural to others and it doesn't come to us that way, or vice versa. The deeper inner mechanisms of life, we try to understand, we try to get to the bottom of, and so that's what makes it so exciting. Um, it's all about getting rid of the old you so that you can actually bring forth a new and better you from within, right? So Jupiter definitely is responsible for, like I said, abundance. And so with that abundance is also sharing, because nothing would be that pleasantly abundant if it weren't shared. So Jupiter, if you're talking about sharing, is associated with sharing and leading and learning, knowledge, all of that good stuff. So you might find yourself, if you have your planetary chart, if your chart has this placement of Jupiter being in Scorpio, you have the tendency to actually share the things that you learn knowledge-wise with other people. You kind of shine light on the darkness for others. You are like a beacon for others to share what you've learned, what you've, discovered about life itself and about other people. So Jupiter, as like I said earlier, the largest planet, the great beneficent planet, benefic planet, okay, is responsible for all things that you would naturally think to associate with a planet as such: growth, optimism, good luck, abundance, good fortune, all of that good stuff. Of course, a higher mind, because Jupiter also being one of the outer planets, the largest outer planet, is the higher mind, the higher consciousness we're looking at now. Philosophy, all of that good stuff is associated with Jupiter. And it has the reputation of also being the one planet that is responsible for blessing us with that same energy, that same luck, that same good fortune and abundance. It comes from the ability to give us a larger scope, a larger view, okay, which we can see it from the earth. Because think about it, everything that you imagine happens to you emotionally speaking. If you think about Jupiter, if you actually look at it with your own eyes, it's larger. So you have to see it, your eyes have to actually become larger to actually take the whole thing into perspective, into focus. And it makes very interesting, an interesting combination. So with Jupiter being in Scorpio, this is the time when we are given the chance to confront things that actually we may have neglected, things that we may have ignored. And it's so powerful for those who do not believe in astrology. These things are not placed there for nothing. It's no coincidence, okay? So the things that we previously may have neglected are coming to the surface now. And so you're going to find that a lot of things coming up are really like, oh, why is this happening right now? Scorpio being the sign related to sex, death, rebirth, all of this stuff, power, okay, power. Then Jupiter being the planet responsible for, like I said, all of the other stuff, we actually are at a time where it is conflicting. It feels like it's conflicting time because it's kind of confusing. But with the things we are introspective as Scorpios, Jupiter being one of the outer planets, we're like looking outside of ourselves, but we are usually the inner looking people. So it kind of conflicts, but it's actually working in your favor, okay? So our fears actually are becoming a little bit more intense, enlarged, okay? So Jupiter being in Scorpio could mean it's time for something to be reignited that may have been neglected a long time ago, perhaps. When I think about this, I think about the passing of my dad. I think about some issues that are taking place now, trying to get my boy into another school, all of these things that actually have been neglected for years are now coming to the surface. It is very intense. It is very real, so to speak. It's real, all right? However, I believe this is in our favor because with Scorpio's ability to just attract good stuff and Jupiter being the planet of giving good stuff, what we can have whatever we want at this time. I feel like this is when our planets are definitely in alignment with abundance, with whatever it is that we need to come to us. All right. So this is the time now to get your manifestations going. This is the time now to actually visualize what you want to see take place. This is with us, Scorpio being such an emotional sign, a water sign, deep fixed water sign. We are connected with intimacy, with our feelings, our innermost, deepest feelings. And so Jupiter's time in this sign wants us to actually embrace these feelings. So it wants us not just to embrace the feelings, it wants us to actually expand upon those feelings, because, like, remember, Jupiter is about expansion. So the transit helps us now with our own emotions, and it helps us to connect like we have never connected before to others. And this is deep, because now, just thinking about my family, I have not been in contact with for so long, is now, all of this now coming back is just gonna kind of merge everything back together, which is pretty dope. Now, what on the kind of downside to this is our ability as Scorpios to push it to the level, like we push it to the max, okay, with a lot of things that we do. So moderation definitely is not the word when it comes to Scorpios, and definitely is not the word when it comes to Jupiter. So when these two come together, what is that, for God's sake? When these two come together, we can just not only just be excited and passionate about something, no, we could actually become pretty obsessed with it. And like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a psychological word. It's like, obsession, I guess, is the best for that. So what happens when the planet Jupiter goes retrograde? As you know, that is only simply meaning that it's giving the appearance that it's moving backwards in the sky. So Jupiter being the outward planet, that outward extroverted kind of energy, with Scorpio being the introverted energy, it's moving the opposite kind of directions now. So it's about time for reflection. It's about time for, this is of course in retrograde, it's time for us to take a trip down memory lane. It's time for us to ask questions like, what is working in our lives? What do we need to change? What are we doing to actually help us to grow and expand when things start moving forward again? Are we actually working towards our goals? Are our actions aligning with what we want, with our desires? Okay, and a lot of times, you know, we have some changing to do, because when we ask ourselves these powerful questions, we get some powerful answers. But in order to change anything, you have to begin to ask these questions. But this is what takes place when Jupiter is in retrograde. So persons with Jupiter in Scorpio, you definitely chant the mantra of creating your own good fortune. Okay, you are magnetic. People are drawn to you, okay, and opportunities are drawn to you. You have a good, savvy business head. You're able to actually get out there and be professional, put things together professionally, business-wise, of course, and you are committed to whatever it is that you actually are going to undertake. And this is what's going to bring you the best benefits at the end of the day. And you naturally are a person who is not, like I said, all for the big groups of people and all of that. You're more on the introverted side. So you definitely do well to have things more confidential. Like, you want to keep things, you know, to a dull roar. You don't need everybody to know what's going on, what project you're dealing with, all of this kind of stuff. So you do best definitely in environments where this is important. Confidentiality is important, because you're good at keeping things to yourself until the time comes where it all comes to light. You know what I mean? So this magnetism that you have, it extends beyond your business world. It extends, and with someone being such as yourself with Jupiter in Scorpio, you have a charm, a particular charisma that draws other people to you like a magnet. Okay? And so being intuitive and connecting with your inner higher self and all of that, you have a good, strong social presence. Like when you are in a social setting, you are able to handle yourself, you are able to have good conversation, you're able to like balance it and just move through the waters, like as if, you know, on a calm day when it's calm, it's just placid, you're able to just mellow through this whole thing and just move your way up. Okay, this is one of the great traits that we have. Now, another thing that I'm learning, that I'm coming to understand, is that Jupiter and Scorpio persons definitely love to dive into the deep topics, okay? The taboos, all of this stuff. Basically, nothing is off limits. You know, you have least favorite topics, but then you would talk about anything if given the right opportunity, if you have the right, if you are, what's the word I'm looking for, passionate about something, you definitely would talk about it. You do not tend to shy away from things that other people are afraid of. This is definitely one of my favorite traits of ours, because you want to get to the bottom of things. You want to get to the bottom of things that people are afraid to get to the bottom of. How else would we have answers to give for questions that people never ask? You have to ask these questions, and this is a gift that we have as people with our natal chart lying this way. So things, like I said before, related to the mind, psychology, death, like what happens when you change realms, all of these things, sexuality, intimacy, mysticism, and the occult and the dark side, all of this good stuff. These are the things that are naturally drawn to. Okay, like Star Wars. I wonder if a lot of I'm gonna look that up. If a lot of Star Wars fans are Scorpios or have Jupiter lying in Scorpio, because, you know, thinking about the whole outer thing, you know, dark side, light side, all of that. Anyways, so the pairing of Jupiter definitely with Scorpio. So Jupiter being is the king. Don't forget, Jupiter was a god, okay? Is God, a god. King of abundance, right? And so Scorpio is the queen of what? Being like fixed, okay? It means that you tend to go overboard sometimes. You go overboard. Like, you always want to have the last word there. So in work, in power, in love, in relationships, all of that, you are the one who goes all in, okay? So definitely, sexually speaking, you're off the chain, you know. But by focusing on your passions, okay, and the things that you are most intense about, these are gonna give you huge, abundant rewards and prosperity. So the traits of somebody with Jupiter in Scorpio would be more, like I said, all the adjectives that I called off before: passionate, transformative, I guess, intuitive, shrewd, business-like, business-wise, intense, serious, intelligent, definitely intelligent, emotionally intelligent also. They are able to imagine very well, so very imaginative, I guess. Empowering. We actually love sharing what we learn with other people, kind of navigating them out of the darkness for themselves. Clever, because clever and intelligent to me are two different things. So I feel like cleverness is definitely one of the traits of people with Jupiter in Scorpio. So with that being said, I hope that has summed it up. And right now, our Jupiter is in Scorpio at the moment. And so I think this is a great time to go after the things that you are interested in, the things that you are passionate about and are desiring. This is a great time for you to go towards that. Because I need to see how long it will be in this constellation. How long is Jupiter in Scorpio? Let's see. Let's just see right quick before I end this video. 2019, 2020. I definitely need you to leave your feedback on this topic. If you're into astrology as well, I've been looking at the tarot readings and stuff like that for Scorpio this month. They have been lit, all right? I mean, and everybody is basically so accurate. Everybody is almost saying the exact same message, and so it's something kind of intense. I've been almost obsessing with those videos now for the past week, and I feel like everything they've been saying has been so spot on that it just would just draw me to go to the next video, go to the next one. Jupiter transit from Scorpio 2019. Okay, it goes into Sagittarius on the 5th of November. So we basically have a little more time with this energy happening. How does Jupiter planet affect you? This is a website I'm checking out, you guys. As for the interpretation of Vedic, that's Indian astrology, Jupiter placed in a horoscope could mean a lot of signs, ranging from positivity, negativity, depression, and exhaustion. I felt that. Jupiter is powerful enough to balance the malefic effects of other planets. It also signifies happy marital life, prosperity, growth during its positive transit in the horoscope of a man or woman. It can also turn a woman arrogant, thus ruining her marriage. Jupiter affects you on a dimensional scale based on its cycling transit as shown in your horoscope. But you guys, do let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, if it resonates with you. Do leave your comments. Do subscribe to the channel. Do hit the notification, okay, so that you're back when you're back as soon as I'm back to catch up with another great topic. Until I am back, I'm going to say peace and love. Thanks for watching. Blessed be. Namaste. Goodbye.